Hey everybody, Qroo here. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my new book, Spanish Subjunctive Triggers, and I'm going to be showing you how to use it to study from, how to use your notes and everything with it, and how to use it with a language AI to help you work on your conversations. Like, you don't need me to give you exercises if you use a language AI with my book. All right, that's what I'll be showing you in today's video. It's going to be pretty cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off by taking a look at my new book, Spanish Subjunctive Triggers. Now, this book is only available in PDF format. I know some folks have been like, oh, Paul, I really just want a book I can hold. I get that. I like those books too. You know, when you do print on demand, it can really get expensive, you know, if you're not printing a whole bunch, you know, and then selling them that way. I want to keep the costs down, and there are several advantages to having a PDF. One of them is you get it right away. As soon as you purchase this thing, you download it, you're starting to learn these subjunctive triggers. Another huge benefit is you can copy and paste from it. So if you're creating your own study sheets and maybe you just want to work on certain triggers and constructions out of this particular guide, you can copy them along with the examples and create your own documents. And we're going to be using that ability to copy and paste with our language AI as well. I think you're going to think that's pretty cool. So this is the book. What it is, it's about 64 pages of triggers. And what do I mean by a trigger? Well, the subjunctive is a huge aspect of Spanish. And as English speakers, we don't always recognize that right away because in English, well, we have the subjunctive, but it's not that important. But in Spanish, it is super important. It is interwoven into every aspect of the language, and you will never, ever be fluent if you do not learn the subjunctive. Just think of the subjunctive as a different set of conjugations that are triggered by certain constructions in Spanish. Learning those conjugations, pretty easy. Learning when to use the subjunctive, that's the challenge. So what I've done is I've broken it down into little formulas that are easy to remember, so you can kind of pop them into the Spanish, you know, that you're already doing. If you're learning patterns, my way of learning Spanish, this fits in perfectly. I've reduced a really complex area of the language into really common subjunctive triggers. Now, this book does not have every subjunctive trigger out there because it would be information overload. It would be like handing you a dictionary, a Spanish dictionary, and be like, there's the language. Now learn it. So what this book is high frequency triggers that you're likely to say. They're really going to give, you know, your Spanish a maximum boost. It's not long lists of verbs to memorize you're never going to use. No, this is a practical guide. So before we get way into this, I want to show you what I mean by a subjunctive trigger. We're going to start right here with this one. Antes de que plus subjunctive. And this means before something happens, right? The something that has to happen is in the subjunctive. Why? Doesn't matter. It just is. So as an English-speaking adult learning Spanish, I learn antes de que plus subjunctive. I got it. I just apply that pattern. I can create sentences I may never have seen or heard before in Spanish in my entire life, but they will be correct because I know the formula. Now, all of the triggers throughout the book have examples. I love examples. You show me how something's used, I'm like, I got it. Our example here is, I want to take out the trash before you leave. So the before something happens, you're like, antes de que plus subjunctive. I just learned that. It's that easy to apply. Quiero sacar la basura antes de que te vayas. Now, as you go through this book and you learn a ton of these triggers, and there is a ton of information in here, but again, it's simplified. In this section here, I'm breaking down these particular formulas here, and then you'll go through examples. So each section is pretty short, each chapter. Right? I don't want you to get so bogged down in just reading and not getting anything out of it. Now, the way I recommend using this book is to learn 1 or 2 triggers a day and then to practice them. And what's the best way to practice? Well, you can have a live tutor, show them what you're working on, and set that up. That's fine. But maybe you don't have that kind of time. Maybe it's, you know, 5 something in the morning, like when I get up and start making these videos, and I only want to practice for 10 minutes. Well, that's where a language AI comes into play. So the AI tutor I'll be playing with today is Langua, and it's from Langua Talk. And if you've been following my videos, you've heard me mention it a lot. I think it is the absolute best language learning tutor out there. It's fantastic. I've been recommending them for about 2 years now. I recently went through a whole bunch of new AI apps because they're popping up every single day. I'm going to tell you, they are not all created equally. People are putting absolute garbage out there and trying to charge you. Langua is the best. I'm going to do another video, really go into detail why. So for now, I mean, you can take my word for it or, just make your own assessment as we kind of go through it. If you do decide to try Langua, do me a favor and click on my affiliate link located in the description section of this video. It's also going to be pasted at the top of the comments. And go to their website to create your account before downloading the app or anything. It just helps support the channel. Now, their app's great, but I really think the website is better. It offers some other features, and it's perfect for what we're doing today. There's a lot of features in here to help you learn Spanish. We're going to go to Speak with an AI. And there's a lot of options here as well. You can practice your grammar, there's vocab and games, do role play, have a debate. We're going to choose chat about anything. Now, down here, you have change conversation settings. And you have some options here. We're going to have listen and read, so you can see the words show up on the screen. That can be helpful for you. If you don't like that, you find that annoying, you can always turn that off here. You have a lot of options. You have different AI tutors in here that are from different countries. They're going to use that accent, as well as the colloquialisms, slang, things like that. Let's just stick with Anna. So we'll get out of that, we'll go to general conversation.
Hola Paul, qué gusto saludarte hoy. ¿Cómo te sientes y de qué te gustaría hablar ahora?
So I've chosen to see the words. Again, you had an option not to. If you want to slow it down, you can hit the turtle, not my favorite option. You can hear it again. And this one here will translate it into English. Now, I'll be doing that with this video just so you folks that maybe are beginners can still see how this is useful and still understand things, right? At this point, I can speak Spanish to the AI, or I can just tell the AI what I'm working on. I just bought a book about subjunctive triggers, constructions that automatically trigger the subjunctive, and I want to practice those constructions. So I'm going to paste in some of the formulas or the chapters, and I'm hoping you can help me.
Qué bien, suena muy útil ese libro. ¿Qué tipo de construcciones del subjuntivo quieres practicar primero? Por ejemplo, deseos, emociones o algo diferente?
All right, so she's eager to help me, so let's pop over to her book. And maybe we're going to practice some time expressions. A really good one is avísame cuando plus subjunctive. Let me know when something happens. Because we're always saying that. Let me know when you arrive. Let me know when you have the information, things like that. So I can just plug in formulas, or I can just do it all, right? I can just stick all this in. Maybe I'll stop about right here. So I'll just copy that. All right, here's the chapter.
Está muy claro ese capítulo. Está bueno practicarlo con muchos ejemplos. ¿Quieres que inventemos oraciones con avísame cuando sobre tu vida diaria, como trabajo, familia o planes?
I want to practice making sentences. You tell me if they're correct, and then you give me an example using that same construction.
Va, me late, suena buen plan. Haz una oración con avísame cuando y yo te digo si está bien y luego te doy otro ejemplo con la misma estructura.
So we're going to take turns. I'm going to do one, she's going to do one, because she's going to probably come up with better ones, and I'll be like, oh, I never thought to use it that way. So I'm going to do one. We'll do a simple one. Let me know when you arrive. Avísame cuando llegues.
Tu oración está perfecta, así se dice justo. Yo diría, avísame cuando tengas tiempo libre. ¿Puedes hacer ahora una oración con avísame cuando y un plan, como salir, viajar o comer?
She told me it was perfect. That was very nice of her. And then she went ahead and came up with one. Avísame cuando tengas tiempo libre. Let me know when you have free time. So now she wants me to do one with avísame cuando and a plan like going out, traveling, or something like that. She's going to push me to keep coming up with the different sentences. Avísame cuando quieras salir a cenar.
Está muy bien tu oración, suena natural y clara. Yo diría, avísame cuando tengas hambre y pedimos algo. Haz otra oración con avísame cuando y algo de trabajo o estudio.
Now let's see what happens when I get one wrong. Trying to think what we're going to say. Avísame cuando tienes la información. That's incorrect.
Casi perfecto. Solo cambias tienes por tengas. Avísame cuando tengas la información. Yo diría, avísame cuando termines la tarea. Ahora haz una oración con avísame cuando y algo de viajar o vacaciones.
So she corrected me. I said tienes and it was supposed to be tenga, so she told me that. She gave me another sentence. If you don't like, the AI giving you sentences back and forth, you can change it, make it whatever you want. And once you think you kind of have this, let's play with something else. Let's go back to our book. And what do we want to play with here? I like this. Let's play with this one. It depends on. Really useful. Like depending on whether something happens or depending on a noun. So I'm just going to highlight it all and just stick it in there. Right, next chapter I want to practice.
Buen capítulo. Esta estructura se usa muchísimo en pláticas. Por ejemplo, todo depende de que él llegue temprano o depende de estudiar más. Haz una oración con depende de qué y algo de trabajo, dinero o tiempo.
Okay, so she wants me to go ahead and make one with depende de qué plus subjunctive. That's the formula. Depending on whether something happens. And something about work, money, or time. One of the things I really like about the tutors is they'll push you into some areas that you're not as comfortable, like as far as vocabulary. So you may have to go look something up, but that's how you get better. So I'll make a sentence. Everything depends on whether there is a lot of traffic, right? There are, I. But we know it's depende de qué plus subjunctive because we just learned that. So the subjunctive would be haya. Todo depende de que no haya mucho tráfico.
Tu frase está muy bien, suena súper natural. Yo diría, todo depende de que tengamos suficiente tiempo. Haz ahora una oración con depende de qué y algo de clima o salud.
All right, so there you have it. That's a look at my new book, Spanish Subjunctive Triggers, and also Langua's AI. You'll find links to both of them in the description section, also pasted at the top of the comments. If you enjoyed the video or even found it mildly entertaining, just do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. And until next time, hasta luego.